Well, Alison, we've heard from a few Taliban officials that this is news to them, too, but they're not surprised. The U.S. negotiating team hasn't told their Taliban counterparts, and the Taliban's top brass were learning it from the media. So it's really just the latest in a long line of impetuous foreign policy decisions and announcements by this administration that's caught not only America's enemies off guard, but also its allies and even its own U.S. soldiers and diplomats who are out in the field. It's caught them all completely by surprise. And, there are lots of examples of what you could call whiplash diplomacy, but, maybe the most emblematic is President Trump's on-again, off-again negotiations between the U.S. government and the Taliban. But this time, the president appears to be announcing this massive withdrawal. It'd be about a third of U.S. soldiers who are currently in Afghanistan. And he's announcing only days after his peace envoy resumed negotiations with the Taliban. And that was, again, another surprise decision, even for many American officials. So now, as always, this drawdown is consistent with the president's long-term policy on Afghanistan. One he's stated several times before, he's always said he intends to untangle the U.S. from these interminable wars in Afghanistan and also in the Middle East. And he's been among the longest and the most expensive military adventures in U.S. history. So there's plenty of reason why the Trump administration would put this in their sights. And, as the Washington Post's so-called Afghanistan papers showed, and these were published last week, the U.S. and its allies have almost nothing to show for more than 18 years of war and occupation. And 3 presidential administrations, including the Trump administration, has consistently misrepresented the war's progress to the American public. But that having been said, any military expert can tell you that unilaterally, drawing down forces while negotiating with the enemy is probably not the best security strategy. It's not the best way to get the best seat at the negotiating table. But the president is determined to get out of Afghanistan, and he said that the Taliban is eager to agree to a ceasefire. And Taliban representatives have told NBC News that they're interested in signing a peace deal, which is different. And the question is whether the U.S. can get them to agree to some kind of ceasefire, to stop fighting during these negotiations. And here's my colleague Ali Arouzi interviewing Taliban Representative Suhail Shaheen in Doha, in Qatar.
Did it come as a surprise for you that the U.S. are going to pull out 4,000 troops from Afghanistan?
It is not a surprise, but I think it is a very positive step which will create a conducive atmosphere for the negotiation, which will be resumed soon.
So you knew about it?
I knew from the media reports.
So, of course, the U.S. president has made and reversed these decisions in the past. And so while the stakes are high, incredibly high, we're also just going to have to wait and see because we don't know where this foreign policy is directed.
Hey, NBC News viewers, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down here and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives. Thanks for watching.